Welcome to the 6-Minute English Podcast, your quick, no fluff guide to improving your English in just minutes a day. Subscribe now and make English a part of your daily life.
Have you ever felt that flutter in your stomach, that dryness in your mouth, right before you have to speak in front of a group? It's a pretty common experience. Our story today explores why so many people have this fear, this glossophobia, as it's sometimes called.
Glossophobia. That's a new word for me. It sounds serious. So, our story deals with public speaking anxiety, something I can definitely relate to.
Exactly. And our story takes place in a small town called Meadow Creek. Imagine a place surrounded by rolling hills, very peaceful, very quiet.
Sounds idyllic. A far cry from a bustling conference hall or a crowded auditorium, I imagine. This Meadow Creek sounds almost too quiet.
Yes, and in this quiet town lived a young woman named Alara. Alara loved the peace of Meadow Creek. She enjoyed the gentle rhythm of life there. She worked at the local library, surrounded by books and the quiet murmur of turning pages.
A bookish, introverted type then? I can see how public speaking might be a challenge for someone like that. Working in a library sounds like my kind of dream job.
Definitely. Alara was quite content with her quiet life. But there was one thing, one small cloud on her otherwise sunny horizon. And that was the annual town meeting.
Ah, the dreaded town meeting. I bet that's where the public speaking comes into play. Even in a small town, those meetings can be nerve-wracking.
You hit the nail on the head. Every year, each resident had to stand up and share their thoughts about the town's affairs. A seemingly simple task, but for Alara, it was a monumental challenge.
I can understand. The word, monumental, here really emphasizes how huge this felt for her. It wasn't just a small worry, it was a massive obstacle.
Precisely. And this year, Alara had something important she wanted to share, an idea that she believed could really benefit Meadow Creek. But the thought of speaking up, of standing in front of everyone, filled her with dread. Dread, a strong feeling of fear and anxiety.
So, she has this internal conflict. She wants to share her idea, but the fear of public speaking holds her back. It's a classic setup. I'm hooked. I want to know what happens next.
So, imagine a young boy, maybe 8 years old. He's asked to read a poem aloud in his class. His heart starts to pound. This is a common experience. Pound means to beat very hard and fast, like a drum.
He feels a knot in his stomach. A knot is like a tight ball of tension. He's nervous, his palms are sweaty, his knees are shaking, and his voice trembles when he begins to speak.
Why does this happen? Why do so many people experience fear when speaking in public? Well, one theory is that it's a primal, instinctive response. Primal means something basic and very old, related to our earliest ancestors.
Think about it. Thousands of years ago, being at the center of attention could be dangerous. It might have meant you were about to be attacked by a predator or judged by your tribe.
Exactly. So, our brains developed this fight or flight response. This means your body prepares to either fight the danger or run away from it.
That's why your heart races, you breathe faster, and your muscles tense up. Your body is getting ready for action, even if the danger is just giving a presentation.
Now, in modern times, being the center of attention isn't usually life-threatening. But our brains haven't quite caught up yet. They still react as if we're facing a saber-toothed tiger.
Another factor is social judgment. We are social creatures. We care what others think of us. We worry about being embarrassed or making mistakes in front of an audience. Embarrassed means feeling ashamed or uncomfortable.
And this fear of negative judgment can be incredibly powerful. It can make us freeze up or forget what we were going to say. Freeze up means to become suddenly unable to move or speak because of fear.
So, this combination of primal instincts and social anxiety creates what we call stage fright, or performance anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling of worry or nervousness.
It's important to remember that this is a completely normal human experience. Most people feel some level of anxiety when speaking in public, even experienced speakers.
Absolutely. And understanding why we feel this way is the first step towards overcoming our fear and becoming more confident speakers. We'll talk more about that in the next section.
Okay, so let's recap the story so far. We've met Alex, our main character. He's got a big presentation coming up at work, and he's absolutely terrified. Terrified means extremely scared, by the way.
Right, he's got glossophobia, which is a fancy word for the fear of public speaking. And it's making him feel really anxious. He's experiencing physical symptoms like sweaty palms and a racing heart. Racing heart means his heart is beating very fast.
Exactly. He's tried everything to calm down, deep breathing, positive self-talk. Nothing seems to be working. He's even tried picturing everyone in their underwear, a classic, if slightly strange, piece of advice.
He's also remembering a particularly embarrassing moment from his childhood when he froze during a school play. To freeze means to become completely still, unable to move or speak because of fear or shock. This memory is making his current fear even worse.
And that brings us to where we are now. Alex is minutes away from going on stage, and he's close to having a panic attack. A panic attack is a sudden feeling of intense fear and anxiety, often accompanied by physical symptoms like difficulty breathing.
He's starting to think he might actually run away and hide. He feels like everyone is judging him even before he's said a word. He's convinced they'll think he's incompetent. Incompetent means not having the necessary skills or ability to do something successfully.
Poor Alex. He's really struggling, but remember, the story is exploring why people fear public speaking. It's delving into the psychology behind it all, the thoughts and feelings that contribute to this common fear.
Yes, and the story will also explore how Alex eventually overcomes his fear. Will he run? Will he freeze? Or will he find a way to face his fear and deliver his presentation? We'll find out in the next part.
Remember, to overcome means to succeed in dealing with a problem or difficulty. So, the big question is, will Alex overcome his fear?
And we'll also be looking at some useful vocabulary related to fear and anxiety as we go along, so stay tuned.
So, the protagonist, let's call him David, is about to give his big presentation. He feels a knot in his stomach. A knot is a tight feeling, like someone tied a rope around your stomach. It's common when you're nervous.
Right, and the story describes him as sweating bullets. This is a colorful idiom, meaning sweating a lot, like little bullets of sweat are coming out. It emphasizes how nervous David is.
He steps up to the podium, and the room seems to spin. He's experiencing a common fear called glossophobia, fear of public speaking. It's more common than you think.
He clutches his notes, his hands trembling slightly. He clutches them, holds them tightly, almost like he's afraid to let go.
He clears his throat and tries to start, but his voice comes out as a shaky whisper. He's completely tongue-tied. This means he's so nervous he can't speak properly, almost like his tongue is tied up.
The story then goes on to describe how he remembers his childhood. He was often teased for being shy, and this made him withdraw into his shell. This means he became even more quiet and reserved, like a turtle going into its shell.
This withdrawal led to a deep-seated fear of being judged or ridiculed, which manifested itself as this crippling glossophobia. He associated speaking up with the potential for pain and embarrassment.
So, as David stands there, frozen in fear, the story takes us back to a key moment in his past. It was a school play, and he had a single line to deliver. He remembers the snickers, the quiet, unkind laughs from some of the kids.
That's right, and because of that experience, even as an adult, he finds himself dreading any kind of public speaking. Dreading means anticipating something with great fear and anxiety. He dreads it like it's the worst thing imaginable.
He sees blurry faces in the audience, and his mind races. He's experiencing a classic fight or flight response. This is a physiological reaction to perceived threat where your body prepares to either confront the danger or run away.
In David's case, he desperately wants to flee the stage. His heart pounds in his chest, and he can barely breathe. The spotlight feels like a burning glare.
The story uses the phrase, "a deer in the headlights," to describe how he feels. This idiom portrays someone who is so shocked or frightened that they are paralyzed, like a deer caught in the bright headlights of a car at night.
That's a perfect description, and it's a feeling many people can relate to when faced with public speaking. So, let's delve a bit deeper into the reasons behind this fear, and how David eventually overcomes it. Okay, so let's quickly recap the story of Sarah and her fear of public speaking. Remember, Sarah was always a shy person, introverted, we might say. Introverted means someone who gets their energy from being alone, rather than being with lots of people.
Exactly, and this shyness became a real problem when she realized she needed to give a presentation at work. She felt incredibly anxious, almost paralyzed by the thought of standing up in front of her colleagues. This stage fright, this fear of performing in public, is incredibly common.
It is. We learned that this fear often comes from a worry about what other people think of us. This spotlight effect, as psychologists call it, makes us feel like everyone is scrutinizing our every move, every word.
Right, and Sarah imagined all sorts of terrible scenarios, forgetting her words, tripping on stage, people laughing at her. This is known as catastrophizing, where we imagine the worst possible outcome. And for Sarah, these thoughts were overwhelming.
So, she decided to tackle her fear head on. She started by visualizing herself giving the presentation successfully. Visualization, or creating a mental image of something, is a powerful tool for building confidence.
She also practiced her presentation over and over again in front of a mirror, and then with a small group of supportive friends. This helped her feel more prepared and comfortable with the material.
And on the day of the presentation, despite her initial nerves, Sarah took a deep breath and reminded herself of all the preparation she had done. She focused on connecting with her audience, rather than worrying about what they were thinking.
And guess what? She did a fantastic job. The audience was engaged, and she even received positive feedback from her boss. This experience showed Sarah that even though public speaking can be daunting, it's definitely something you can overcome with practice and the right mindset.
Absolutely. So, the key takeaways here are that the spotlight effect and catastrophizing can contribute to fear of public speaking. But by using techniques like visualization and practicing regularly, anyone can build their confidence and deliver a successful presentation.
Exactly. And Sarah's story is a great example of how facing your fears can lead to personal growth and a real sense of achievement. Remember, everyone feels nervous sometimes, it's completely normal. But it's how we manage those nerves that makes all the difference.
Thanks for listening to English Boost. Remember, practice a little every day and you'll see big results. See you in the next episode.